Okay, on this question it says the average score on a stats midterm was 70 points with a standard deviation of 7 points, and Arthur's z-score was -2. And the question is, how many points did he score? So we learned that the z-score, the formula for z-score, is equal to the data value minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So in this instance, you were given the z-score is -2. So, oops. So we will write -2 in for z-score. We don't know how many points he scored because that's the data value, so that's the unknown. So I'll put an X for data value. We know that the average score, which is the mean, was a 70, so I'll put -70 in for mean. And we know the standard deviation is given in this problem to be 7. So we have the z-score is -2, we have the data value is unknown, we have the mean is 70, and we have the standard deviation is 7. In order to solve this problem, we need to solve for x. So the first thing we'll do is multiply both sides by 7. And so that would be 7 times -2 is -14 is equal to x minus 70. And then we will add 70 to both sides. And we will get x is equal to -14 plus 70, which is 56. Or you could say 70 minus 14, which is 56. So he earned a 56 on the test. So he did worse on the test because a -2 means he did 2 standard deviations below what is the average score. And so the average score was 70, and he did 2 standard deviations below. So 70 minus 14, because 1 standard deviation was 7, so 2 standard deviations would be 14. 70 minus 14 is 56. If you want to do this in Excel, you could write a little program. It might be kind of fun. So we have the mean, we have the standard deviation, and we know his z-score. We want the data value. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So when I want to write a program in Excel, I would kind of, anything that I'm going to input and change each time, I'm going to make yellow. So I'm going to highlight those screens and I'm going to put them yellow. So that means, and then I'm going to make all borders so that I make this screen, I make this, when I click off it, I see that the yellow has where I can input things. And then, so I'll just make the mean, which is the given mean here was the average, which is 70. The standard deviation was 7. And his z-score was -2, so I put the minus sign in the 2. Okay, in order to calculate the data value, let's think about what we did. What did we do? Well, let's look at it in general. Kind of think of a general formula. Let me go up and make this a little bigger. Oops, sorry. The general formula was that we took, remember, we multiplied the standard deviation by the z-score, and then we added the mean. So the z-score times the standard deviation plus the mean equals the data value. Okay, so we want to do the z-score times the standard deviation, and then we want to add the mean. So when you write your Excel program, we'll say, okay, I'm going to come in here. This is going to be the equal sign. I'll take the z-score, which I put in E5. So I'm going to click on E5. And then I'm going to say times the standard deviation, which I input in E4. And then plus the mean, which I put in E3. And then I hit enter, and it does the calculation for me. And what's so great about this is if I So I'll put 56 here. I'll show you how great this is. Say I wanted, for fun, to try another problem. I'll click on similar exercise. Now it says the average score on the stats midterm was 74, standard deviation of 6. Gregor scored a -1. So all I have to do now is change what's in yellow. The mean now is 74. The standard deviation now is 6. And he got a -1. And notice how it automatically computed that he got a 68. Does that make sense? Well, if the average score was 74, the standard deviation was 6, and he got a -1, his z-score was -1, that means he was 1 standard deviation below the mean. 74, take away 6, is 68. So this does make sense. And let's see. Okay, so maybe that would be a fun way to work this problem.